What's up, everybody? It's your boy PJ, the OG Keymaster, and I'm here with Mr. Becker. Say what's up to him, Mr. Becker.
Hey, everybody.
All right, so we are going to discuss the newest episode of WandaVision. So, spoiler alert: if you haven't seen it, you might want to pop out of here. I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but I do want us to be able to discuss and break down the episode. And so this is our chance. So if you haven't seen it, like I said, definitely go ahead and stop watching. Or if you don't mind spoilers, then go ahead and continue to join us. And let's get into it. We got James Svoboda already on the chat. He says WandaVision is so good, and I tend to agree with you. I think before we actually get into the episode itself and breaking down the episode itself, I just have to say that I think that this has been an awesome transition from where we started and where you were worried, Mr. Becker. You were worried about this series and where we have come with episode 1 and 2 that first week, and where we are in episode 8. So go ahead and what did you think overall? Don't break down anything yet, but overall, what did you think of this episode?
Without tipping like what went on in the episode, I'm just excited for where everything seems to be going. I like this new phase. I feel like this is our real kickoff, our launching point into what's going to be happening down the road. And I love it. I take back everything I said. I still believe, like, when I rewatch this multiple times, I'm not going to lie, I'll probably skip over the first 2 episodes. Yeah. To me, this series really kicks off at the end of 3. You could do 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 and have a really fun time watching it. I've seen 1 and 2 each a couple of times. I don't think I need to watch them ever again.
Yeah. I mean, I understand why they were necessary now. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, they totally make sense now. And I understand why they wanted to do it this way. It definitely, you needed the slow transition. The problem, I think, for us was that we were in a lull for a long period of time, right? This wasn't supposed to be the first, Disney Plus series for Marvel. This was actually going to be the second, if I'm not mistaken. It was going to come after Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah. So we were metaphorically starving for Marvel by the time it came out.
And so what I think happened is people were so starving for it, and they were expecting, just this banger right out the gate. And unfortunately, that's not how this series was going to evolve. Maybe that's how Falcon and Winter Soldier is. It's just going to, right from the start, it's going to be 100 miles an hour. But for this one, it had to have time to, progress through the story. And, like I said, unfortunately, we went a whole year without any new Marvel stuff. And I think people were really turned off by the fact that it started so slow. I liked it. Real quick, I think Jimmy Balls, I'm trying to remember who Jimmy Balls is, but he said, "What's up, guys?" Bryn Anderson, it was a good episode and good to get some background filled in. Yes.
I agree.
And then Jimmy actually says that there are only 6 episodes of Falcon and Winter Soldier. So we're only getting
this method. So the first 2 episodes, you heard it here first, are just going to be them doing a cooking show. And you're not going to understand what's going on. You're going to get some beautiful recipes, and then 3, 4, 5, and 6 are just going to be off the wall bonkers.
Yeah.
The first 2 episodes, just a cooking show.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Heard it here first.
That's the Becker exclusive.
That's the Becker dropping knowledge and dropping the exclusive right there. Yeah.
All
right. So we are going to go ahead and get into this episode breakdown. We're going to do this a little different, guys. Hopefully, makes things a little easier. We're going to go, and I got some screenshots, and we'll go through the screenshots as far as kind of what has happened throughout this episode. So we start the episode, and we find out, it's from 1693 in Salem, Massachusetts, and we find out that obviously this is when the Salem witch trials were going on, and we see Agatha essentially getting drugged into the woods, and from here we see her coven, of witches that Agatha belonged to.
They were mad at her.
Yeah, and they are pretty freaking pissed at her, right? And we find out that the lead of the coven is her mother, right? Which this is kind of interesting because in the comics, I'm pretty sure Agatha was the leader of the coven. And she actually was giving up names of witches for the Salem witch trials, if I'm not mistaken.
And so it's been a while since I've read that stuff.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure
she retconned her a few times, like different.
They have
different,
right?
Versions.
I think originally she was giving up names, and she was all for essentially the Salem witch trials and giving up the weaker witches so that the more powerful ones could flourish. Jimmy Ball says House of M, and hey, Agatha had to fight for her right to party. That's right.
And to get that brooch.
Yeah, and to get that brooch. So let's keep going. So we see she's tied up in the center, and all of the witches just start blasting her, right, with this blue magic.
Yeah, it looks like Tesseract energy.
Yeah, it does, right? They like their colors. They like to stick to certain colors, right? You see the red, the blues, the yellows, and stuff like that. So Bryn says in the comics, I think the witches burned her for bringing her son back to life. I don't know if she was actually ever killed. Was she? Maybe she was.
Oh, I think she was.
She. Before we get into that, so they blast her with whatever magic they have, and her mother accuses her crime of she starts using dark magic, right? She's being accused of using dark magic. She admits to being a witch to her coven, but she also admits that she uses dark magic, and it's not what did she say? That it's not that she said their magic just bends to her dark magic or something to that effect, right?
She's not something about not practicing it, but it bends to her.
Yeah,
she bent the rules. She didn't break the rules. She bent them.
Yeah,
that's how I took it.
And Bryn says, or they tried to anyways. I think they tried. I don't know if they did or not in the comics, but they may have. But yeah, so essentially what we're seeing here is that Agatha definitely tends to she learned I guess easily. She progressed quickly in the art of magic, and especially in the dark arts. So that is what the witches were afraid that she was getting too powerful. I think she was using magic that was above her station, they called it, or rank, I would assume. And so it was really crazy to see that she just then was able to absorb whatever attacks they were doing, and then you saw it go back out in her purple magic aura or whatever, and she started draining and sucking the life force out of the witches of the coven. And then once she killed them, Then we see her mother try and, blast Agatha. And Agatha, at that point, she uses her magic and she breaks free from whatever binding spell that they had on her. And she then, pleads to her mother and says, "I can be good." And apparently, her mother did not think that she could be good. And so she said, "No, you can't." And Agatha ended up killing her, right? So we see her kill her mother or suck her life force or whatever it is. I don't know if she absorbs her power and so she becomes stronger at that point.
She seemed to be absorbing the power of the ones that were trying to kill her with the blue magic.
Yeah, so I'm assuming that she's absorbing their power, but I could be wrong. But anyway, you see the brooch that is on her mother. That's the one we've seen Agnes or Agatha wear throughout the show. It's the same one, but she grabs it from her mother. And then we cut back to Agatha's lair, whatever you want to call it, and she starts kind of, interrogating Wanda. Saying Agatha's trying to figure out how Wanda is able to do what she's done, how she is able to, essentially alter reality and create all of this stuff. She's thinking that, Wanda is this trained and professional witch, if you will. And so she's trying to put it together because this is, I think, the first time that she is, heard of her. And so I think the way I interpret it as, Agatha feels like, where did this person come from? I should have known if there was another, or a powerful witch like this.
All of this?
Right. John Lang, do you think her trying to use chaos magic mixed with the power she absorbed is reason her magic is purple? Interesting. So we didn't see her use her powers before. She was up on
definitely
tied to the thing.
Have a purple vibe though.
Yeah, but if she was using red, if she used chaos magic and it was red, and then she absorbed the blue, maybe that's why it turned purple. That's an interesting point, John. I like that. C3 in that house. He says, "I'm driving, but what up, everyone? What up, C3?" So yeah, we get Agatha, and she's kind of interrogating Wanda, trying to figure out why have I never heard of you, or why have I never seen you before. The one cool thing that I thought, that you see the goat or the ram head behind Agatha there, just kind of like a call out, right? Because we've all seen, Beelzebub and the devil kind of always have this, either goat or ram head with the horns and stuff like that. So I thought that was kind of eerie, if you will, call out that maybe this is something darker. That her lair is a much darker place.
Darker than it already was, as a creepy dungeon covered in vines and
right. That maybe this is satanic.
Get that it was bad. They just put some satanic imagery up on the wall.
Right. So once again, she starts interrogating her, and then she decides, well, you're going to show me how you came about this. How did you come about with this power? And Scarlet Witch is like, nah, not interested. Don't think I will. And then Agatha says, but you forget who has your kids, right? And so we move. Oh, real quick, I also want to get. There was a point in this where Wanda was like, she tried to bend reality, right? You saw her
Mhm.
eyes light up with red, and you saw her try and bend it, and Agatha shut that shit down and was like, "No, you don't. That doesn't work on me."
In that room,
In that room, because she has
she
protection
has
spells.
the glyphs up.
Correct. She has the protection spells so that no other magic user can use magic in her lair, if you will. But I thought that was kind of cool. And then you also saw her, kind of explain everything, right? How chaos magic works and everything. And we'll get more into chaos magic in a little bit. I'll talk a little bit about chaos magic and my theories on that. But we also saw her, show how chaos magic can be used to bend reality and shape reality. And then she fed the bird, like she changed the cicada or whatever into a bird, and then she fed the bird to Mr. Scratch, which I didn't realize rabbits ate birds, but cats do.
Oh, all the
Which,
time. Bugs
right?
Bunny always liked
Yeah.
to eat
Oh,
birds.
yeah. There you go.
Why do you think
So,
Daffy Duck was like very wary of them? He
yeah.
knew the deal.
John Lang, but she didn't really have control of chaos magic and has been trying to master it through the years. Yep. Protects the witch. um, so yeah,
Witches,
we
please.
witch, please. So she says, show me your life. Essentially, I want to see how you came about this. And so Wanda takes her back through in her memories through to Sokovia, and we get to see her mother and her father and her brother Pietro when he was little, and we find out why the first 3 episodes are the way they are. We find out they are like that because that was her childhood. Her childhood was sitting at home watching these 50s and 60s shows and 70s shows with her family. And we also find out why the first episode is the way it is. It's like a Dick Van Dyke spinoff because that was her favorite show, was Dick Van Dyke.
Mm-hmm. And a
And so I
specific
thought,
episode too.
yeah, I didn't. It was like episode, or it was season
Season
2.
2, episode 21.
Yeah, so 221 is this. I'd have to
Or
look
was
up,
it
but it's.
20? It was, I think that was right. I don't know.
I bet you that number has some type of significance. 220, like, is there Avengers 220 something with Scarlet Witch? I bet.
I can look that up real quick.
Yeah. But so they're watching, and then we see the bomb from Stark Industries fall, and we see
Which
the
cool to
blinking
tie a
light.
story in.
Yes.
From Ultron.
Joe, what up, Joe? And Bryn says this brings up a theory when you get to it. Okay, all right, Bryn, I will wait for it. And if you'd like to dial in or call in or whatever, I don't even know what you say to this because it's the internet. You're not really dialing, but just let me know. I can shoot out the StreamYard link, and you can say your theory on the internet. So this is a call out to that. What was it? Was it the first episode or the second episode where we see the light right on the Stark Industries toaster? Wasn't that episode 1? I believe it was. But that's so we realize that all of the commercials throughout the series are all hidden things, just like we kind of predicted. We called out way back when, but they're all like little hidden things to Wanda's backstory. So this is where we see the blinking light, and so in the show, in WandaVision show, she retells this as the toaster, the Stark Industries toaster that is blinking. Bryn says, I think the key is the content of the Van Dyke episode. It's a dream episode. Could this be a dream or a nightmare?
Oh, I hope it is.
I know, Mike. I know, Mike. That's all he wants. He wants to be right about that. He wants to win a bet. He wants to win a bet. But what is telling here is that Wanda says that it was luck that the bomb just didn't go off, and we see Agatha say, "I don't think it was a luck. I don't think it was luck. I think you used a probability hex." So this is kind of retconning Scarlet Witch to where she had these magic powers from the get-go. And what we find out is that John, I'm gonna ask you to just hold on because I got something for you. After all of this, I'm gonna break down Catan. Don't you worry. I got something for you.
Yeah.
Oh, don't you worry. I got a big breakdown.
More organized than you can possibly imagine this time.
I got a big breakdown, but I'm right there with you, John. We're on the same wavelength.
And I couldn't find nothing for 221. It has nothing to do with Wanda.
All right. All right. So we find out that they're trying to retcon Wanda and that she has always had these magic powers. However, if she hadn't interacted with the Mind Stone, that her powers would have diminished. They would have weakened. Obviously, because she wasn't a practicing witch, so her powers would not have accelerated. They would have diminished. This is what we learned from Agatha during this time. So then Agatha says, all right, that's enough of this. I've seen enough. You were born with these powers, but how did they become so powerful? How did you become so powerful? Because you've had no training. So then she takes us to the next door where you see the Hydra symbol on the door. And we see where this is after the first Avengers movie, and Hydra doesn't capture, but they take the Loki staff from Captain America. They take the staff, and Hydra then, it starts to conduct experiments with the staff. Unbeknownst to them, the time stone is underneath that gem or whatever. And what this does is they conduct the experiments, and from the Hydra people, the scientists, they say no one has ever lived after interacting with the stone, right? So we find out that no one else has lived up until this point. And then they tell her to approach it and to touch it, and she doesn't even have to do that. It literally comes off of the staff and then comes towards her, and when she touches it, the gem explodes and revealing the Mind Stone, and then we see the Scarlet Witch come down, and almost like this is Wanda receiving the powers of the Scarlet Witch, or
or just becoming who she was meant to be.
Yeah, or just becoming. Okay, I'll talk more about it then because I do have theories on why it ties to Doctor Strange. Excellent, John. Excellent. So the one thing I did find, somebody did alter this and lighten it up and kind of so that you can kind of see what's going on. And I mean, guys, if this is what they're going towards, if this is the look that they're going to have Wanda start, this is going to be her costume, bro, this is awesome. What do you think, Mike?
Oh, I'm ready.
I mean, this is like 10 times better than what the Halloween. Cool. 10 times better than what the Halloween costume was. Even though I did like the Halloween costume, I'm not gonna lie.
Reminds me of how she looked in the Mighty Avengers, where they kind of moderned up. They didn't want to go that straight, 70s, 80s pink and red costume.
Right.
But she grew her hair back. I don't know if you remember, but in the 90s, Wanda's hair was real short. She kind of had that popular. It was back to long-haired Wanda, and in this kind of style of where it's definitely homaging the old costume, but looked more like awesome.
Yeah.
No, it just looks. Yeah. I like the look, and it reminds me of when I really liked her in Mighty Avengers.
I mean, I definitely. I hope they go with this look because I think it. I mean, I don't know. I think that's an awesome look. I like it. I like everything about it. Tell me, do you think it's got like a Phoenix vibe to it though?
We talked about this before the show started.
Yeah.
I got strong Phoenix vibes, like making the Scarlet Witch a thing, like almost a mantle.
A title, right? Like anyone can be the Phoenix. Anyone can be the Phoenix. And this is kind of like the same thing. Like not anyone can be it, but it is a title.
Oh, I believe in you, PJ. You can be the Phoenix.
All right, so Wanda receives the power of the Mind Stone, and we go on to the next scene because Agatha had seen enough, and this is during Civil War or right after Civil War.
Oh, I think it's it could potentially. No, I guess it would be after, huh? Part of that new team.
Yeah. So I think this is right after Civil War because Pietro's, gone. She lost Pietro. So it's sometime after Age of Ultron, and I'm going to say, either during or after Civil War. I'm going to say it's before Civil War, actually, because they were on the run.
I had to it, but
yeah. Okay, so definitely after Age of Ultron.
She's living in
Rock-On.
in the compound or whatever, upstate.
Yeah, Rock-On says definitely updated and modern look for Wanda. Love it if they go with that costume. Agreed. So Vision walks through the wall, starts interacting with Wanda. They have this awesome, dialogue back and forth. Vision is trying to, be human and, lend a shoulder. And at first she's not having it. And I think this is honestly where the connection starts. So we see the relationship form between Vision and Wanda here. Do you guys think we would be here now dissecting every nanosecond of a Marvel show like when Iron Man started it all, like we did this symbol like this? That's a very true point. That is a very true point. Especially Iron Man 3.
Back then either, though.
Agatha even says something about her only being a legend, the Scarlet Witch, like it is a mantle of some kind. Correct. That is at the very end. She does mention that, she's she is the Scarlet Witch, which is this mythological figure, right? Like the Phoenix, if you will. The Phoenix is a mythological figure. So after this, we get one more scene where we see when Wanda is entering the sword facility, and we get to see this whole scene play out, and we find out that, and we kind of knew, Hayward is a fucking liar, right? We find out that Hayward just was trying to convince his people that Wanda was a bad person, that she went in there and stole Vision's body, and that's not what happened. So she goes there, she pleads with them. She says, since I've been back, his body, I didn't get to see his body. He deserves to have a funeral. I deserve to give him a funeral. I deserve to say goodbye to him. And so the front desk receives a call. It's Hayward.
Hayward pretends he's being so nice to like, oh, like we're acknowledging that you're an Avenger and like you have the right to see him. We're not gonna let you have him, but
Right.
we've extended courtesies. No, dude, you realized you didn't have any options to stop her.
Right. Yeah.
Like
You were. Yeah. What are you gonna do?
The badge, tap it a few times or something.
Right.
Like, I don't know what they were gonna do about it.
Yeah. Yeah. There was not gonna be any stopping her. Right. And so Hayward shows, what's happening to Vision since he was taken by Sword. He also says that he's the ultimate sentient weapon, which I thought was kind of funny. But we see that Vision is completely disassembled down below, and that's when, like Mike said, Hayward's like, nope, you can't take him. And she's like, I don't want to take him. All I want to do is just say goodbye.
And bury him. She wanted to bury him.
And bury him, right. And
he wasn't having that.
He wasn't going to let it. And so she, decided to take things into her own hands. And so she breaks the glass and flies down.
But she doesn't take him with her, which is interesting.
Correct. I thought this was interesting, though, because this is kind of a callback to Civil War, when they were together and they both said, like, or she said to him, I think, I can feel you, because he had the Mind Stone, and because she had received her, she had not received her powers, but
she got her boost.
Yeah, she got her boost. Yeah, she got her boost from the Mind Stone. So I bet you she was, kind of getting like a recharge every time she was around him, like getting that fix of the Mind Stone every time she was around him.
Getting a fix.
But where's Rick, man? Come on.
I know.
Anyway, so she says
donut grease all day.
Yeah.
I really need that Rick fix.
The shop must be, just going crazy right now. Bryn says Hayward is a scum. Yeah. He is definitely a scum. So it seems like once she says, like, I can't feel you, she just kind of realized that he's gone, right? That he's like, there is no bringing back. Like, he really is gone. So then we see her get in her car, leave without the Vision, without taking anything, but we see her drive to Westview, and we're wondering, well, why would you drive to Westview? And that's because, and she drives to this particular spot that has bare bones of, a house, the foundation of a house, if you will. And we find out that Vision had purchased, or maybe they both did. I think Vision, purchased it for them, for them to grow old.
Maximoff and the Vision.
Yeah.
2800 Sherwood Drive.
Yeah.
Gee, thanks, honey. You got me property in New Jersey.
In New Jersey, right? Like, why would anyone want property in New Jersey? But so yeah, I'm thinking this is something that he bought because it says to grow old in V, right? So this was his gift to her, or they were supposed to move there or whatnot. And then we see her just completely lose it, and she cannot control this chaos magic. Like, she can use it, but she is so emotional, and we saw this in Age of Ultron too, whenever Pietro died, and she felt that. She fell to her knees, and the chaos magic, like, killed all of Ultron's bots and shit, right?
Right.
So she can use the magic. She doesn't know how to fully control it, right? She hasn't taken, Chaos Magic 101, if you will. So she's still trying to get a hold of this, and this is years after being getting that pump from the Mind Stone initially. One thing I did find that I don't know if anyone else found, right, as I was going through this. So the chaos, the hex starts to go out. She creates the hex as she falls to the ground, and it creates the house, and the hex goes out, and you see the movie theater change from new to old. And what does the marquee change to when it goes to old? It says Big Red, which we've heard now twice in the show. Once when they were at the neighborhood watch meeting, and someone asked if he wanted gum, and they offered him Big Red. This is the second time that Big Red is being talked about. Mr. Macabre is in the house late to the party. Why do you suppose the rest of the Avengers would allow Sword to take possession of Vision's body? My guess is that Sword was probably started with Shield or some. With Shield's guidance, if you will. We saw Nick Fury in Captain Marvel, kind of trying to build the foundation of that with Maria, is what I'm guessing is what happened after Captain Marvel.
And I'd imagine a lot of them just didn't know. I mean, everybody was kind of drifting at the end of Endgame,
Yeah.
I think this is supposed to be so quick. I mean, they probably didn't know. We've seen in the past where there's these cleanup crews, so to speak, your damage controls, your shield, your sword now. I think quite simply, they just don't think past that. And with the Bryn's got a great point. I bet the Sokovia Accords, they probably just like Hayward said, we're not going to stick one of the rarest resources in on the planet into the ground.
Yep. And John Lang says, and half the Avengers were scattered. After Infinity War.
Take technology, the level of advancement that Vision is, and just put it in a casket and throw it around, and nobody tampers with it.
Right. So then we find out that the Vision that we see isn't the Vision that's on the table. So Wanda did not take Vision, but instead her chaos magic created it. We see the reality shaping of the chaos magic. And so Vision is formed, and we see that he's looking upon her, and then we see that is kind of how the first episode starts, right? We get into that first episode of WandaVision. And so at that point, Agatha we see that it turns into a movie set, and we see Agatha in the stands, and she's clapping, and then all of a sudden she vanishes, and Wanda is left standing there, and then all of a sudden she hears Billy and Tommy. And so she runs out onto the street, and she sees Agatha in all of her glory, which I think that is such an awesome costume. But we see Agatha with Billy and Tommy on, she's got whatever choking, spell or whatever. And this is where we learn that she is referred to as that Wanda is referred to as Scarlet Witch. C3, could the chaos magic be what Wanda is at her core? Because if you think back to childhood, she was that old, and she could have been born in the chaos of her homeland. I think that's exactly what we saw, and what you started to see in that look back was Sokovia was a mess. She was born into chaos, exactly like you were saying, and she did have powers from the beginning. That's what I think this whole show is, to retcon her origin within the MCU. She wasn't just she didn't get her powers from the Mind Stone. The Mind Stone enhanced her powers, but she was a mutant, if you will. Magic users can be considered mutants, I guess, because it's a mutation that allows you to be able to do this. Not everyone can use magic, so I think this is their way of retconning, saying that she's always been like this. This isn't something that was just done with the Mind Stone. Mr. Macabre says, notice how Agatha looks like Nightmare.
Yeah, a little bit.
Becca, you see that?
I do.
Interesting.
I'm just waiting for that Nightmare payoff, and then you'll
Interesting.
never shut up.
Interesting. All right, so this is how the episode ends. But wait, there's more, right? Because then we get to the mid-credit scene, and we see Hayward and Sword kind of looking at the hex, if you will. The hex is definitely, like, the hexes have gotten bigger, right? Look how you see the lines or whatever going in. But the hex has gotten bigger. And so if you remember back 2 episodes ago, Darcy was on a laptop, and she was going through it, and she found a file called Project Cataract. And this is a weapon. We find out what Project Cataract actually is in this one. In this episode, we find out we got the White Vision. And I will tell you,
I really
suddenly, West Coast Avengers
comics are.
Yeah. Who's into West Coast Avengers now? Let me ask that question, because I guarantee no one gave a shit about West Coast Avengers up until this point.
Right here, buddy. Collected original art for years of that series.
You're a rarity, my friend. You're a rarity.
I know. I collect West Coast Avengers, Sleepwalker, Darkhawk, New Warriors related, and Thor, specifically Ron Friends.
Yeah.
I buy original pages that fit into those molds.
You got Brent Anderson. I like 80s West Coast Avengers.
Yeah, heck yeah. First 100-issue series I collected.
What did you say you got that for?
For New Mutants.
What did you say you got that for?
Oh yeah, I bought what did West Coast Avengers run, like 102 or 104, right around there, and then it became Force Works. So at a con,
ain't that the truth?
I bought a bundle. I didn't even haggle with the guy. It was $100 for every issue, and I already had the run completed. So mind you, this was to get a second run of West Coast Avengers. I got them for less than $1 an issue.
That's crazy.
So now I can make it all back off of one of them.
That's good. You got to make your money back.
No, I'm a hoarder.
I'm the same way, dude. I'm the same way. I've never sold a book. All right, so I kind of want to get into some theories real quick on what I think could be the book that was in Agatha's lair. Because I think if we can figure out what the book is, it might give us a little, I guess, preview of maybe what we can speculate on. I just bought West Coast Avengers #1 in a Phoenix live sale. There you go. Gotta love Phoenix, baby. Probably that Friday dollar sale.
There's going to be a just to tip the hand a bit, there will be a sale tonight that's going to be just straight ridiculous.
Oh yeah. Honestly, yeah. Real quick, guys. Let me break this. Break this real quick, because if Rick was here, he'd be like, "Hold on, guys." What I will say,
we're getting goofy
that,
tonight.
Yeah. So what I will say is that if you haven't, make sure, no matter where you're watching on, make sure you stay tuned tonight to Phoenix this channel. They're going to do a live sale. It's going to be kind of like if you went out, you used to go out
in the morning and wanted to buy a knife.
Yeah, if you've ever seen those crazy like coin shows and knife shows or whatever, well, Phoenix is going to have something like that tonight, except with comics, and it's going to be ridiculously funny. You know, I'm sure it's going to be a good time.
Us hanging out in the shop, being weird.
That's right,
and
I'm sure Rick Tater is going to make some good deals. I'm sure there will be some good deals to be had. I know Nick. I think Nick is picking out some books, and so it should be a good time. But right now, we'll just pause for this.
You know, Lloyd, just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber, you go and do something like this and totally redeem yourself.
Guys, make sure you are liking and subscribing the YouTube page. Please support Mr. Becker. Please tell them why they should go like and subscribe to the YouTube page.
Steal your friends' phones. I think you should sign them up for Phoenix on the YouTube. Even if they're never going to look at it again, just get those numbers to 200. We have a key book we're giving away. Rick's got it right now. He's going to take some pictures of it. I'll actually have him put it on the show tonight, just to get the word out. But how many people do you think we had in the giveaway last time? When you
and people, I know what people are going to be like. I haven't gotten my book yet, guys. I'm actually out of town right now, so as soon as I get back, I have all of the books. I have them. I just wasn't able to get them to the UPS. But as soon as I get back, I'll be back on the 12th of March. As soon as I get back, I will get those. I'm so sorry that I didn't get those out. I had to go out of town on business. I'm actually in a hotel right now, and I'm about 8 hours ahead of you guys, I'm sure. So I promise that I will get those out. But there was probably only like 7 or 8 people. So that's
if you're an honest person.
Yeah, if you can get your friends, your family, whoever, they don't even have to like comics. Just if they have a YouTube account,
stranger sitting next to you in the subway whose phone is sitting next, steal it.
Tell them to go subscribe to Phoenix's channel. They're never going to be in the chat. That's fine. They're never, but that's going to get you an opportunity to a 1 in 8, 1 in 9 opportunity to get an ASM 46, right? 46.
47 maybe.
47.
I can never remember.
ASM 40 something. Right?
First shocker.
Yeah, first shocker. Not the shocker, right? Not the shocker. Let's see. Bran, I hope there's another twist. If Wanda started this on her own accord, I don't see how she doesn't get life in prison for what she's doing. 46. All right. All right. So, like I said, I am going to go into my theories of what I think is going on, because I think if we can figure out what book was on her table, and this has got to play some type have some importance, because when they put the camera on this and zoomed in, they had it on there for a good 2 or 3 seconds. You don't just do that if there is nothing to it. You know you want to subscribe. Just look at these 2 little bastards. How could you not? That's right. Hook us up.
Thanks, Macabre.
All right. So the first book that I think we could talk about is the Tome of Zered Na, right? So this is a magical book, and it has its history in the Marvel universe. It actually first appeared in, what is it? The Adventure Interfere with Man Thing, number 11, right? So this is actually where the Nexus of Reality is first introduced as well. So you had the commercial talking about Nexus, and then they had this book as well. So maybe it is the Tome of Zered. I think that Zered Nod. So the two kids that were on the cover there of the book, that's the Kale kids, right? So there is Andy Kale, and I'm trying to remember what the other girl's name is. I can't think of it right now. Jennifer, maybe Jennifer Kale, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, so they are the grandchildren of a cultist who follow this Zered Na. So Zered Na is an Atlantean that predicted the sinking of Atlantis. And so she was kind of like a magic user, and she predicted that Atlantis would sink, and for that she was cast out and shunned. She was made to leave Atlantis, and obviously eventually Atlantis does sink to the bottom of the ocean. But Zered Na, she has a link to Gaia, who is an elder god, right? Gaia is also known as Mother Earth. She is one of 4 elder gods. And if you wait just a little longer, I'll tell you who another elder god is that also ties into this. But she is a... Who we got here? Oh, man. We have Rick coming in. What's going on, buddy? I'm just getting into some speculation on what book was in Agatha's...
Give me a second. I'm trying
lair.
to get my sound to work so I actually know what you guys are saying.
Oh, gotcha. So anyway, so this is Zered Na, right? And so she is a follower of Gaia, and she first appears in Adventure Interfere number 15. Now in this, the two kids, the Kale kids, Swamp Thing. You're up. You hear us?
I'm up.
You're up. You see us? And
yes.
You're down.
Yep, I'm up.
All right. So in Adventure Interfere 15, Swamp Thing and her and the two kids, they go into this dark realm, and in the dark realm, they fight the demons of Somnus. Maybe I'm pronouncing that right. Maybe I'm not. I don't know. But real quick, Rick, can you who do you see here that is a demon of Somnus? Can you,
looks like it's Mephisto, and he's got like one of those giant coverings. He must be squared away down there.
That's right. Look at the thigh muscles.
Yeah, yes, the thigh muscles, exactly. That's the housing, really.
Yeah.
Of what we're looking at. I'm trying to get Mike to smile or say "fuck it, I'm out."
So who else, Mike? Who else do you see here?
Well, I see Dormammu and I see Catan.
Is that Mr. Sinister?
I'm trying to remember the name of the guy with the face in his stomach. Been sitting here thinking about it since you pulled the picture up.
That's not Craig, obviously.
No. No.
No.
Kidding. Come on. I'm kidding. Come on. Come on. But is that not Mr. Sinister at the top?
No.
Who is that? Somebody
I'm
Google
not
that?
exactly. I'm not exactly sure. It could be.
Wouldn't it have been Thog?
Hey, Mr. Roboto.
So what's going on? So there's a full list of demons. Not all of them are pictured here, but there's Adversary is one, Aeschylus, Agathon, the All Devourer. Let's see, Avandalia, Avarish, Baphomet, Basilisk, Battletide, Beast, Beelzebub, Belasco. There's Blackheart, who is the son of.
I feel like all that stuff you're saying, if you're too close to a mirror, something's going to come and get you.
Yeah. Boogeyman, Carver, Challenger, Catan. There is.
Which one's Chris Catan?
Which one is Catan?
Yeah. No, I said that's got to be Sominus up top.
Is that Sominus? I'm going to have to Google it.
I don't know. I didn't read a lot of that stuff. My run-in with that would have been like the Magic Limited series. I wasn't super into the 70s occult books, like the Man Thing or anything. This is all Steve Gerber stuff. Like half the characters you just named were created by Steve Gerber, who, if I'm going to read some Steve Gerber 70s books, I'm reading Howard the Duck.
Yeah.
That's like where my maturity level is.
Mr. Macabre plays cards with those guys every Thursday. Swell guys.
There you go.
Actually, Macabre doesn't Mephisto owe you $10 from the last game.
Hey, so I hate to be like the a-hole because I'm crazy late. I had a customer come in. We got a new collection, and just my whole morning's been just crazy. So are we already through the WandaVision breakdown? Like, is there like okay, so we already know where we are and what's happening.
Yeah, but you know what? Let's stop for a second, and Rick, you go ahead, and since you weren't here, we gave our takes on the episode. So why don't you go ahead and give us your take and your thoughts on the episode?
I mean, of course you're gonna do that. I got really lucky. I was able to actually bang out the episode. The episode's pretty cool. I still don't think Agatha is the bad guy. I still think somebody else, much bigger, is the bad guy for sure. There's just no question there. I like that everybody is trying to figure out where all this power is coming from. I think, going forward, a lot of Easter eggs, not the Easter eggs that I was really looking for, but the Easter eggs that was popping up were pretty cool. The whole spells thing. I like the origin of Agatha. That was pretty cool. And I think Marvel always does a really great job at that origin stuff, or the origin that of course they want you to know within the MCU. I think they did a good job at that. So marketing wise, it's always good. What are you laughing at me, man? Is that what you're doing, man?
That comment about the guy with the Doomsday Clock list.
Oh, I knew it wasn't Mephisto. Of course, Kyle Bittens, he's been sending me messages like left and right, like he's going to come on.
You knew it wasn't Agatha.
Yeah, he knew it wasn't everybody. That's right. Just bang it out real quick there, Mr. Macabre. I don't know. I think the show was really cool. It was good. I think the biggest thing was the post-credit scenes of and I blank on. I don't know why I have a hard time remembering what was it, the Ghost Vision. What's that actual title of the White Vision?
I think just White Vision.
Oh, I was going to say I thought I had come across something else that was called like the Ghost Vision.
Vision White.
This is what I didn't understand though is that when they were talking about the power source,
no, you're
when they're talking about what was that?
The power source was The power source was the UAV that they sent in, and that Wanda took back out. So it had the hex magic or the chaos magic on it, and so they were using that. If you looked, hold on a second.
Well, I thought I noticed it was a drone, but then I was like, well, that's a really cool drone.
Right. So if you go back here, if you look off to the lower right hand side,
right.
They have the drone in there, and they're sucking the hex power or the hex magic out of it. Yeah, the chaos magic out of it, and that's what they do. That's how they are able to reassemble, or not reassemble, but give life to the reassembled Vision body.
Right, which is pretty cool. Obviously, it looks like we got our weapon now. I'm actually not super up to date on that particular storyline at all. I don't know any of it. So, I'm looking forward to what the MCU is going to do with it. Alex now hates comics because of toxic comic book. I don't know who Alex is, but okay, that makes sense. Okay, now I'm reading.
Yeah.
You know what? And before all my exes live in Hexus, that's probably really true there, Bren. No doubt. I do want to touch on that comic book fandom and stuff like that. The truth of the matter is there's really the comic book realm was really based off of the kind of people that you surround yourself with. You see what I'm saying? And I tell you, I know that we're super lucky. We got Keymaster, and we got the all-knowing Mike Becker, and stuff like that. And what I'm saying, is it's really important to have the kind of people that see how positive, how good, positive, strong comic background is important, and instead of being crappy to each other or try to underhand anybody or anything like that, I feel like we're all working kind of as a team for one reason and one reason only, and let's just keep the comic book doors open. So I feel bad for this dude Alex. That sucks. Doomsday Clock, it wasn't very good, but it's probably not the worst thing in the whole entire world. I think Watchmen is awesome, but Watchmen will always be the top, and that's just good marketing. So it is what it is. Back to WandaVision, I will say, if make that white vision absorb the hex vision and become normal. I don't know what that means, but
so if the white vision meets up with the hex vision, right? Because we saw that the vision inside of WandaVision was created by Wanda out of her chaos magic. Right, so if the white vision meets up and faces off with the hex vision at some point next episode, the white vision will absorb the hex vision and then become the old vision.
Proclaims he's batting 1,000, and I really want to talk about that for a second.
Let's talk about it. I mean,
it's one couple weeks back about that Agatha. What was it? That Agnes wasn't Agatha, never had anything to do with being Harkness. So what exactly is this 1,000 out of 10,000? Are you 10% right? I don't know.
See, this is what happens when people remember the shit you say. That's that right there.
I remembered it.
Yeah, you're right. And of course, now he's like, they made us think that though. That wasn't me that was saying that. They made us think that. Oh. There are no real clues. I talked to Kyle about this before as far as the clues are concerned. I'm just going to tell you now, and I may have said this last week. The clues are not for the show. Yeah, well, but I don't think it's misdirection, Mike. This is what I think it is, and it's great marketing. And Feige is awesome at this. I think those Easter eggs is what's keeping your giant nerd community quiet, and that's what's reeling us in. Now, Steve, that has no idea that Wanda and Vision did their thing, and then there's a run, and knows nothing about writers or creators or anything like that. That's watching it and be like, man, this is cool because I like X-Men. Those people are going to watch that, and the MCU is always going to cater to that. But the one way to keep, our nerds watching is to see those Easter eggs in places like Comic Book Realm, saying that there was somehow a Wolverine, Easter egg, and why they decided to recast Pietro and stuff like that. Like, that's what keeps guys like us in this circle and commenting, watching. And that's what keeps guys like us in this circle here, like commenting and coming back to the show and everything like that to talk about what's next. Is because those Easter eggs are the bait that keeps us going, and the show itself is the bait that keeps your general consumer of the MCU going. And that's where we're at here, guys. And I think Kenton's right, or Kyle Kenton's right. Kyle Benton's right, is, there are no real clues. Some bait keeps us, some bait keeps them. It just is what it is. I'm
just saying this. If Nightmare shows up in the last episode, I'm going to get a custom baller chain. It just says Nightmare. And that's what all of you will be living in, because I will always tell you, each and every one of you, that I was right.
Hey, so if I pay for it, can I put a Phoenix Comics logo on it too?
Sure. I brand the heck out of it.
Brand
Done. No one pretended her being
legendary,
mythical, magical witch. Predicted her being. Well, so here's the thing. That's the other thing.
I thought she was Agatha Harkness from the beginning.
Well,
all my eggs are in the Nightmare basket.
Well, so that's the problem as far as prediction is concerned. We didn't have to predict. We knew. We already knew. But they were talking about, like, we only know her as Wanda. No nicknames? Nothing like that? No, we just know her as Wanda. And we're over here going, this is Scarlet Witch. We've been calling her that since she popped up in the Avengers. We have known. The reason why we didn't predict that with the show is because we already knew that. I already was calling her the Scarlet Witch. She's always been the Scarlet Witch. As a matter of fact, it feels weird calling her freaking Wanda.
Yeah, I do. I did find myself, always catch myself calling her Wanda.
And so then of course Agatha says, the legend is true. You're the Scarlet Witch. And we're like, wait a second. Is that how she gets her name? Holy shit. But we already knew that. There's no prediction. We knew that. It can't be predicted because we already knew that. Right?
Poor PJ. We hijacked his PowerPoint.
Oh, we did. Yeah, no, that's my bad. I'm sorry. I jumped in late.
Nightmare Theory still play.
I know it's still in play, Byrne. It's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
It's super rude. I'm sorry.
Cry for the last review.
Yeah, it was rude. I'm sorry. I think.
No. I think Blue Marvel is really Mephisto. Now you're just trolling. Now you're just trolling.
No, he's just flinging poo now. That's all that is.
Yeah.
And I told him this about Blue Marvel. I said nobody knows who Blue Marvel is. Nobody. Why would Blue Marvel show up now? You can't market Blue Marvel. There's no marketing for that. Can you market Mephisto? Yes, you can.
What they would do, though, I could see them introducing Adam Brashear as a character, as just like a, hey, Adam, or whatever. Like, that would be a low key introduction into the MCU. Whereas, like, if they were gonna do, they weren't gonna do Reed Richards. They weren't gonna introduce one of the Fantastic Four in a 5-minute clip, but they could introduce Adam Brashear, and then later on you meet him again and you find out that that's Blue Marvel.
We're not gonna see that. And I tell you what, the smart scientist guy, you know what I mean? Did we even decide who the smart scientist person is that
they never introduced?
They never introduced.
Yeah, I honestly still think it's Rhodey. I still think it's Rhodey. It is.
It was a military major.
That's what I'm saying.
Maybe
I still think it's Rhodey.
It was.
It was a major.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I still think it's Rhodey. I do. No doubt. No doubt in my mind. I think it's Rhodey. All right.
All right.
So, I'm sorry
So-
I hijacked your show.
No.
My bad.
No. So I was just going over. I thought there would be three. There could be three books that the book that we saw in Agatha's lair could be. The first one we talked about, which I don't really like, but it definitely leads it because of the whole nexus of reality being things. Was the Tome of Zared Na, right? So the Tome of Zared Na, like I said, was first introduced in Adventure into Fear number 11. And this is actually when the Nexus of Reality is introduced as well. So, is there a connection there? Possibly. So then the next one that I think it could be is the Necronomicon. And we've had people before that have, talked about. I think Byrne has been one to talk about the Necronomicon or wishing that it is the Necronomicon. Mm-hmm. So here's what it looks like in the comics. It was actually introduced in Journey into Mystery number 3, and the reason why it's interesting is because in Atlas Comics, there is an individual named Ralph Haley, who is known to possess the Necronomicon. Now, why do I think that's important? Well, this was the only time that this character was ever introduced or talked about in comics, and so he is a one-off. And so it makes sense that the Ralph that we're hearing about all the time, I doubt we will ever see him. I think he is a no-show in the show, but he possesses the Necronomicon, and he is actually introduced in this amazing Detective Cases number 12. It's an Atlas comic book. Good luck finding it. 10-cent book, but it's actually in the story The Cat's Meow, because it's like 5 stories in this book. But yeah, it definitely could be the Necronomicon. Now, the Necronomicon, real quick, in
if you could just say it one more time, because I can't say it. So, like, whenever I want to say
Necronomicon,
can you say it for me when I need to say it?
Yeah, the Necronomicon.
I'll mouth it, but you just say it.
Ready?
All right. So, in this book, the
Necronomicon.
I might stand it for me too. I honestly think you're right. I think this is the book. I think this is a book for a lot of different reasons, and I think it connects a lot of things. If you've noticed, we talked a lot about the series so far has talked a lot about life and death and bringing back death to life, if you will. And this is a book that, like, if you were going to go into mainstream marketing or whatnot, this would be the one book that everybody would be like, bro, I know what that is. Even the non-nerds. So
yeah,
I think you're right. I didn't mean to, interrupt you while you were talking about the
Necronomicon.
Yeah, that thing. So, I have a hard time
cool thing about this
too. Huh?
Yeah, the cool thing about this is that the Necronomicon in Marvel history is actually pages taken from the Darkhold, which is the next book that I'm going to talk about. So this is kind of, but this book,
the popular one on the internet.
Like,
the Speckers are really going after this one.
Possibly. I mean. So the Necronomicon, it could be twofold, right? So Doctor Strange has been known to possess the Necronomicon. It's also been, in his library. We did see a book missing from his library. So maybe this is that book. It is a much smaller version of the Darkhold. Pages of the Darkhold were taken to form the Necronomicon. And I mean, I don't know. I like this theory that it is the Necronomicon, but we'll see. this honestly could lead into Blade and vampires and shit like that as well. So and the Living Dead. I don't know. We'll see. I think it could be the Necronomicon. Anyway, last one that we just mentioned could be the Darkhold, right? So the Darkhold is the Book of the Damned. It is the book that was written by an entity that we will discuss. John Lang has already called it out. But we have seen the Darkhold in the MCU, so to speak, in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Now, I get it. That's MCU TV, and this is MCU movie production, right? But this is what the Darkhold looked like on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., right? So this was the Darkhold on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Looks a little different than what we see here. So the Darkhold's first appearance, right, was in Marvel Spotlight #4. We get our first introduction to the Darkhold and kind of a backstory on it. One interesting thing is that the Darkhold pages were found and put together by this witch right here. Her name is Morgan Le Fay. Morgan Le Fay was a witch from the time of like King Arthur and Camelot and shit like that.
She
her
was
first
Arthur's
appearance,
correct. Sister.
Correct. So her first appearance is this Atlas book, the Black Knight #1. That's where we're first introduced to Morgan Le Fay. Interesting part about this is that she was also introduced in The Runaways, right? So if it is the Darkhold and you introduced Morgan Le Fay, you could then tie in The Runaways and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because that is one thing that Marvel has failed to do is really bring in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and really bring in Runaways to the MCU universe. So I said that she found the pages and she formed the Darkhold. She did not write the Darkhold, though. That belongs to this character right here. This character is known as Catan. So this is he is considered an elder god, and he is the brother of Gaia, who is another elder god and also known as Mother Earth. Her and him also decided that only one of them would stay on Earth. And so Catan was then, he left Earth and fled to this nether region or this dark realm, leaving the pages that he had written in the Darkhold, and so that someone could bring him back into this world. We first meet Catan as the Other in Marvel Chillers #1. Also, we see him as his actual self, his actual being, in Avengers #186. Now, what I will say about this is we see Scarlet Witch looking very smart here, and she is being.
I see what you did there. I like that.
She's being held by what appears to be hex magic or chaos magic, and in this book, she's actually possessed by Catan. She has actually been possessed by Catan twice. Once during this, and then another time during Secret Empire. He has also. real quick. This was showing that there were 4 elder gods. There's Gaia, there's Catan, there's Set. Yeah, Set, and I can't remember what the 4th one, and innumerable others. But so they form the elder gods, but he has also possessed Quicksilver, right? So we know that Agatha has created or created this Quicksilver that's in this show. What if it is a manifestation of Catan? And what if the end goal of this is the possession of Scarlet Witch? Because Catan is chaos magic. He is the ultimate wielder of chaos magic. There is... I don't know of...
the shit out of him right now, so you don't even know.
What's that?
I'm distracting you.
Yeah, a little. But he is the ultimate wielder of chaos magic. He formed the, wrote the pages of the Darkhold, and I think no matter which book it is, no matter if it is the tome of, I can't even remember how to say that chick's name, whether it is the Necronomicon, whether it is the Darkhold, all three books lead to Catan. And so I have a feeling that this is your big bad for this. Now, will we see him? I don't think so. I think we will see at the very end of this, we will see Agatha bowing or kneeling to an entity that we don't see, and giving some type of report back.
Yeah, but
that's how.
When you say that, okay, you say that, do you think that's how they would tie in the magic theme with the cosmic theme?
Oh yeah, he is definitely a cosmic being as well.
Well, so that's what I'm saying though is that, so we know we got the theme going on, right? I even got Mike looking at me like I got a giant horn growing out of my head. So but that's what I'm saying. Do you think that's how they're going to do it though? I mean, do you think, because you can't keep magic running. I mean, you got magic. It's just a piece. It's a puzzle piece, right? So you keep the magic theme going on, right? But it connects to the cosmic.
I mean, we know that they want to go to the Celestials. We know that they want to go to the Eternals and to the, they still want to do the whole cosmic thing. That's a very good point. That's a Rickism.
Will you go back to that picture of Quicksilver? It's driving me nuts.
Absolutely.
I can't figure out what book it's from.
Oh, that's a newer book.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's definitely Mighty Avengers, because I'll tell you what, that's Koi Fam's art right there. And he had a run with, I can't remember who the writer was. The inker was Danny Mickey.
It is Mighty Avengers during the Dark Reign.
Dark Reign. Nice. So like about 10 issues earlier than what I bought.
That is it's incredible that you have the actual art from that.
Yeah, I have from about 10 issues after this, I have a page from issue 31. Yeah. But I could tell it was Koi Fam, so I was trying to figure out if it was near the issue I had just bought, but it's about 10 issues earlier, it looks like. I just found it. It's Mighty Avengers 21. All right. Sorry, I when I see stuff like that, I knew it was
But
quite
anyway,
funny.
so Mike, what do you think? I think no matter what, I just did all that research. No matter what book it ends up being, all roads lead to Catan. That's what I found.
I don't think I think that is a pretty safe bet at this point. I think Catan, I'm still putting chips on Mephisto being behind stuff. Catan it could be a whole collection of bad magic people.
We're at a roulette table. What do you like? You got $100. What are you putting down?
Well,
you got $100 in chips.
See if I can find those in between squares where you can cover two at once.
All right.
I think Catan is a favorite. I've got a lot of eggs in this nightmare basket, so I hope it's Nightmare. I think anybody like a Mephisto, a Blackheart, I don't think they would use Blackheart, because they've used him a few times now in Ghost Rider 2 and in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so I don't see that one being as likely. I still think there's an outside chance they could throw Master Pandemonium in. I'm telling you, they have gone heavy into the 80s, and we saw 2 new names pop up this week in the thank yous. They have now added John Byrne and Jim Shooter. So, I mean, you can tell where they're drawn from.
Right.
If they were going to go more into the John Byrne stuff, that means Master Pandemonium and Mephisto. I really hope Nightmare's involved, but I would think it being we've mentioned earlier how I was a big West Coast Avengers fan. Master Pandemonium was an early opponent of theirs and then came back under John Byrne, led to Scarlet Witch's twins being taken away from her and the mental breakdown. Magneto came in. That's actually when I started reading comic books. One of the first comics I ever picked up off a rack in a drugstore was during that time, where Scarlet Witch had been kidnapped by Magneto. He took the entire West Coast Avengers compound, actually, and went into space with it. Because that's what you do when you're Magneto.
Absolutely.
But anyway, I went on a long rant there, and basically, I think no matter who it leads to, we're in for some magic in our MCU. Doctor Strange, I don't disbelieve everything we've heard where at the end of this series, Doctor Strange is showing up. I don't know how he couldn't. There is no way Agatha could be running amok in New Jersey and Doctor Strange doesn't pop in for a visit.
Right. And so what I don't get is, so was Agatha just always there? Or how did she?
Yeah, I don't know, because she has that spooky basement. Maybe that teleports with her. I don't know. But I definitely think Doctor Strange would if you just think about this as if they were real people.
Even the ancient one, the former, the ancient one would have known too, right?
Right. You couldn't be unloading this much magic into his backyard, so to speak. If he lives in New York.
Unless she has that lair and there is some type of protection from outside.
I think he would he's the sorcerer supreme.
I don't know, man.
I would think him and Wong would be showing up and doing some poking around. And maybe they won't use that Doctor Strange card. Maybe he sends Wong. I don't know. I would think, though, Benedict Cumberbatch is showing up.
Yeah. I think he will have a big reveal at the very end as well. So that could be interesting.
Does anyone else want to get a word in here? Throw out, who do you think is behind it all? Everybody, throw your bets down to use PJ's roulette analogy.
Yeah, if you had $100, where are you putting most of your chips? And I don't want to hear any splits like Cheater Becker there. I want to hear
went all over
solid.
the board.
Yeah, I want. Well, I mean, you could. Would you just say you're 75-25? Would you say you're 50-25-25?
All in on one thing. I'm all in on Nightmare. I've done this weeks ago, and I don't want to come off of it. So anybody can say, "Oh, you stopped believing it was night." No, I'm 100% Nightmare then.
Yeah,
but I could see it being a lot of things.
Yeah. All right, so let's get in because we're already at an hour and 30 minutes into the show. Let's get into some other comic news that came out this week. I don't have much, but I do have some. All right, so let's see if I can share this.
Sting for a second. Oh.
So let's share. All right, so we got some pictures of Spider-Man 3, right? They're filming Spider-Man 3, and so we got a couple pictures. I can't think of what the kid's name is, but he plays Ned. He's lost a considerable amount of weight.
Yeah, he has.
And so I mean, could you see, maybe him taking on Hobgoblin eventually?
I mean, I would have said no up until this. I mean, I don't know. I didn't really care for this Ned. I really wanted to punch him in the first one in Homecoming. Yeah. He's just kind of whiny and didn't really do anything positive for the plot.
Right.
Couldn't figure out why Peter would be friends with him.
So let's see. Real quick before we keep going on this, John Lang says that Al Pacino plays Mephisto because he has been in talks with Feige. Well, all right. Josh Sanders, I just want to say that you guys are awesome. Well, thank you, Josh. Thank you. Byrne, WandaVision has been built around the history of TV. They will close with a classic TV trope. It was all a dream or nightmare.
Team Nightmare.
Like B.I.G. said, it was all a dream. All right, and John Lang, and he has been the devil before.
Al Pacino.
Yeah. Al Pacino. Yeah.
With that Keanu Reeves movie, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Devil's Advocate.
Devil's Advocate. There you go.
Hey, speaking of Keanu Reeves, comic book news, Berserker comes out this week.
Oh, buddy. All 500 and something thousand of them, right? 600,000, 650,000 or something like that.
Biggest indie book in recent memory, at least.
Yeah, but 475,000, probably 500,000 are going to be returned. Only returnable book.
Keanu Reeves, the guy who brought you A Walk in the Clouds and The Lake House.
Yeah.
That's the movies they should use to push Berserker. Really get that romance crowd.
All right, but so we see these three pictures have been leaked, right? The other thing that we'll share real quick. Let me stop sharing that and let me share application. Where is? Hold on 1 second. I thought I had this all taken care of, and I did not. So, is that here? Share screen. There we go. All right. So, the other thing that came out, I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but they released a teaser for the name of Spider-Man 3. Is it playing the audio or no?
It's not playing the audio, but that's fine. I know where you're going with this. I think it's probably better, given the problems we've had, that we don't play the audio. There it is.
All right, so we see that, right? And so we see No Way Home. No Way Home is going to be the title for Spider-Man 3. Now, what I saw, so we see this.
Blow their minds, PJ.
All right, so we see this, right? Mike, go ahead and what was the first thing that you saw that you told me whenever you saw this? What was the first thing that came?
The hexagons.
And that's a very good thing, right? So we think that this is going to lead into, the multiverse of madness, right? WandaVision leading into
Is this coming
madness.
up with more multiverse?
No, this is supposed to be after.
Okay.
Maybe, I don't know. I don't know how they're. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. I don't know. I bet you it's after. My bet is it's after. So if you're watching this, all right, get ready. So the first thing that Mr. Becker saw was the hexes, which I agree that those could be important. The other thing I want you to look at is why would you draw the shape that you did or they did around the Spider-Man No Way Home, right? If you were trying to highlight that, wouldn't you like put it in a box or put it in a rectangle or whatever? No, they made it like this weird shape, right? And with all these little humps, like why did they put a hump down where it says No Way Home with the arrow pointing? And it's just really, really a weird shape that they did around it. Well, here's what I think. That outline of that area looks like Puerto Rico, right? Look at that. And then look at Puerto Rico. Look at that. And then look at Puerto Rico. I think this is a foreshadowing, and that we are going to see Miles Morales live action in Spider-Man No Way Home. And I think the reason why they're titling it that way is because when the multiverse gets chaotic, Miles will be brought into this MCU verse, if you will. And once Doctor Strange closes the multiverse or stops the madness of the multiverse, Miles Morales will have No Way Home. And we will have two Spider-Man. We will have Peter Parker and Miles Morales in the MCU. That's my guess.
I like it. That's really clever, man. But I'll tell you what, I'm dealing with a bit of a knee issue, and I have got to go ice and put my leg up. I'm pretty much at my max with it. So everybody, for people who comment, man, it means so much. Like, you help us
Absolutely.
out and do that. Even if we only just say it out loud and don't comment too much on it. Don't ever take that the wrong way. Like, I appreciate each and every person that comes in here and shares what they think of WandaVision. You make this community, this Phoenix Comics family, like, worth doing this stuff. So thank you. Absolutely.
Yeah, I definitely want to echo that. Thanks, definitely for everybody for tuning in. It's really cool to get to, I don't know, talk comics, and honestly, this is something that I love to do. I have a lot of crazy theories, so it's kind of cool to actually get to share it with some people. And uh, Bryn, thank you very much. James Svoboda, thanks for your guys' insight on WandaVision. Hobocoff, John Lang. No, but this is really cool, and I love bouncing ideas off of Rick and Mike and Mr. McCobb and Rock On, Levi, Nick, all the guys at the shop. I mean, I'm just thankful that Rick lets me come on here with my ugly mug and get to talk some stuff, because this is cool, and everyone is super easy to talk to. John Lang says he's all in on the. I agree, man. I'm all in on it. I have to say. But anyway, I think we're going to end the stream, guys. Next week we have episode 9, the last episode. I can't wait. And then right from there, we're going to continue on with this, and we're going to do Falcon and Winter Soldier episodes. I think the first one comes out in like mid-March. So we'll move right into Falcon and Winter Soldier. And then, I mean, who knows after that? Hopefully we get some movies that we can, maybe Black Widow movie finally comes out. I don't know. Eternals are supposed to be. Oh, that was the other thing. I did see. I think there was one more after this. Yes, so they released this calendar, which has what the Eternals are gonna look like. So you have Icarus there in front, and then I'll have to be honest with you. I don't know. Pray for new movies. Yeah, I mean, Eternals should definitely be coming. Like, I think that's got to be close. I think they're done. It's in post production. They have what this is what the characters are gonna look like. So you see the outfits and whatnot. Hopefully this is good, and this takes us into the cosmic area. But yeah, I just wanted to share that. Thought that was cool. Saw that. I have nothing else, guys. Like I said, next week we will talk about episode 9. Thank you, everybody. Please, if you could, have everyone go over, share the YouTube page, share the Facebook page, like, subscribe if you can. Trying to help out Phoenix Comics. Like I said, I still have all of the names, and I have all of the books that I did giveaways for. Those will be going out as soon as I get back home. And then if we can get to 200, Mike Becker is giving away a ASM 46, which is the first appearance of Shocker. I'll give some more books away. I promise I'll be more prompt this time. Hopefully won't have to go out of town suddenly. And I don't know. I'm all about giving books away and having fun. And I just want Phoenix Comics to be successful. I love the shop, and I've been doing business with them for almost a little over 3 years now, and I want them to continue to grow. So as much spotlight as we can put on the shop, that's all good. John Lang, peace out. We'll see you next week, guys. We will talk to you guys later. All right, see you later. Bye.